This is Dead Serious, a show about short horror stories worthy of discussion. I'm Dead Pallid, and I'm reading Squidward suicide-related stories, barnacle bitch boys. Today we're going to be taking a look at Suicide Squidward Clip channel. I found this on the Creepypasta Wikia, and I have no idea what it's about, but it sounds interesting, and if the other stories I've read here are any indication, this might be a mixed bag. I think that's the best that we can hope for. But let's see, maybe it could shit the bed really quick, or just be amazing all the way through. Let's see. We all remember Suicide Squidward Clip videos. The guy who claimed to be the man who was behind the creepypasta Squidward suicide. His videos were supposed parts of the videotape he was able to snatch from Nick Studios in Florida back in 2005/2006. So this is weird. They're kind of phrasing it as though there is a definitive Squidward suicide clip on YouTube when there never really has been. There have been a bunch of people who have videos that are allegedly of, Squidward suicide, just like fan-made things that normally aren't really trying to pass themselves off as the genuine article. It's usually just fan projects of like, let me try and replicate what is being said here, All those who read what I just said will probably say, oh, it's probably fake. Well, maybe, but keep reading this to understand why this guy is different from money eaters like Red Mist. For those that don't know, Red Mist is a fan project that was going around. I don't know that it was directly related to Squidward suicide. I think that it was just the title that was provocative. But I will say that so far what they're trying to say has not been structured well. I think that a better way of trying to phrase this is there are a lot of fake video clips of Squidward suicide circulating out there and all of that kind of stuff. And then say, but there's something out there that's real or something along those lines. It's kind of phrased clumsily. It's like, there's this video that's real and then there's also videos that's fake. It's not very effective. It's a very effective way to structure your argument that there's real Squidward suicide stuff out there. This guy came before Red Mist. His videos are from 2006, and his first channel was actually taken down by Viacom because he was a threat to the company. He was able to show key parts of the episode described in the creepypasta. I want to read that again to make sure I didn't mess it up. He was able to show key parts of the episode described in the creepypasta. Okay, so that's me. I get it. Yeah, Viacom is a known abuser of the YouTube copyright system, but we're going to have to develop this threat narrative of this person was a threat to Viacom further in the story, I hope. Since we're talking about the creepypasta, he told the viewers that the creepypasta we know today is a simple edition of his original forum post in 2005. We're getting weird capitalization. They capitalized episode, they capitalized forum. It wasn't a story. It was a forum post of a guy trying to help someone who knew about VHS tape cleaning. So I already don't like that we're mentioning creepypasta inside of a creepypasta. I'm not a fan of that. But they're trying to give background as to the actual origins of the story. That's not necessarily bad. What I am about to show here is the original forum post from 2005, which the owner of the channel, Suicide Squidward Clip, all one word, gave to everyone who asked him about the root of his story, in quotations. Okay, so now we're going to get into this forum post about VHS tape cleaning, apparently. Posted Tuesday, August 6th, 2005 at 1:06, posted subject, VHS cleaning. Josh Groovy says, "Hey guys, I don't know if this is the best place to explain why I need this tip, but here goes. I worked in Nick Studios for about 2 years, and one day we had some problems when watching an unreleased episode called Squidward Suicide. Oh boy. I know the name sounds weird, lol, but sometimes before an episode being released, the producers like to put some funny tittles, for us, the test viewers, to laugh. So the way you phrase things is important, because this is deteriorating the original idea. The original idea is sometimes people put up stuff that is lewd or inappropriate to make us laugh for internal testing, internal viewing. This is different. This is saying we're trying to put up titles just to make people laugh. I don't know how Squidward Suicide is going to make you laugh. Like, the original is supposed to be a morbid joke, and here that context is being stripped away because of the way that you're phrasing stuff. You see what I'm saying? And so this is supposed to allegedly be the same person or the original source, and they have less of an ability to convey the story. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You see what I'm saying? One of my colleagues even gave it a dry laugh well after a while he stopped laughing. I don't remember much about this episode. I saw some weird stuff like Squidward going true, supposed to be through, but it's spelled wrong, a depression, and dead children. It wasn't something easy to watch, so I guess my brain kind of erased parts of it. Okay, this is the fourth story we've read related to Squidward Suicide, and again, we're trying to erase Jera symptoms of like, oh, I kept watching it, but parts of it were erased from my memory, and then we had the other person turning off the sound, and then the other person who was covering their eyes, but still kind of watching it. This is silly. The dead children seem to have suffered a hardcore death, to be honest. And they were not cartoon children. They were photos of real children placed inside a SpongeBob cartoon. But this all happens after Squidward's concert, where you see all of his friends with weird eyes. Again, there's this desire to gloss over hyper-realistic eyeballs, when hyper-realistic eyeballs is not a ridiculous phrase. People, it wasn't a ridiculous phrase at the time, I swear to God. But I definitely, whenever I die, please, make sure that I suffer a hardcore death. Squidward, parentheses, who had a huge but no funny depression. Oh, Christ. Squidward, who had a huge but no funny depression and big weird eyes, and he also had a strange encounter with SpongeBob and others. The episode is just 10 minutes, in parentheses, uses a shotgun to kill himself in the end. So it's something really strange. We didn't find anything about the dead kids yet, but I was able to get the tape. But it's in a horrible condition, so I need some tips to fix it. I know it's hard to believe, but I would like some help, please. I really want to help on the investigation. Thanks. What investigation? In the original story, you give it to the police. The police investigate this. This is a police thing, you weird vigilante. So now we're going back to the poster who... Not the person who posted that text, but the person actually writing this story, the narrator. So as you can see, it's really different from the original material. The forum is closed now, and there's no way we can get a decent view at the answers and reactions to of those who, for the first time, looked at the original story. About the channel, improper ellipses, Suicide Squidward's Clip channel had the following videos. 1. Suicide Squidward Clip 1. This is fucking with me, that it's supposed to be Squidward Suicide, and now it's Suicide Squidward, and, that's just going to get to be a problem for me. A video full of static showing 2 dead children and Squidward's hyper-realistic eyes. Okay, so that's weird. We're avoiding hyper-realistic eyes at one part, and now we're just embracing it? I'm not sure what's going on here. 2. Suicide Squidward Clip 2. A video with less static, but this time showing Squidward before going to his concert. So again, in the first video, we have 2 dead children instead of the 3 in the original story. Interesting. Not really. Interesting, but stupid. The other videos were about him trying to fix the tape, and there was even one video where he had a conversation with one of the supposed creators of the tape. However, 3 days after that video was uploaded, his channel was closed by Viacom. His channel is back, and from what I and others saw, he is the same guy. So notorious copyright hawks Viacom take 3 days to get rid of this video that is potentially damaging to their company. Usually they get it before anything happens at all, before the channel even gets any views. Beside this, we have a image of SpongeBob's face distorted with static in a way that VHS tapes don't distort, with red eyeballs and like red teeth and stuff. His new video is Suicide Squidward Clip 3. It shows the beginning of Clip 2 with even less static. Everything would be the same if it wasn't from the strange SpongeBob. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not how adults structure their sentences. It just isn't. This is all one sentence that I'm about to read. His new video is Suicide Squidward Clip 3. It shows the beginning of Clip 2 with even less static. There's no punctuation there. There's, no commas, nothing like that. That's all one sentence that I just read. What it should say is his channel has a new video on it entitled Suicide Squidward Clip 3, period. It shows the beginning of Clip 2 with even less static. That's how it should be structured. And then, of course, everything would be the same if it wasn't from the strange SpongeBob. For the strange SpongeBob, my friend. This image appears with Squidward having a grin full of malice on his face. Keep staring at his strange SpongeBob-like character with red eyes. So now, Squidward is full of malice, when before, Squidward was depressed. We're talking about completely different emotions here. There was nothing malicious about Squidward in the scenario. SpongeBob was the malicious one, if you remember. This is what always happens with these spin-off stories, unfortunately. It's taken up by people who don't understand why a story was successful in the first place, and that's always frustrating. The YouTube channel is trying to bring back all of his videos, including the interview with one of the producers of the supposed tape. If you have that video clip, and it really is going to lead to an investigation against Viacom and potentially finding a child murderer, why don't you upload it to Dailymotion? Why don't you upload it to Vimeo? Why don't you upload it to any of these other... why don't you upload it to VidMe? Oh, VidMe is defunct now. It just doesn't make any sense that you wouldn't upload these things somewhere else if it was really that important and you had the proof of it. And who is the producer of this videotape? Is it the producers of the actual show, or is it someone else? Did they work at Viacom? What is the deal with that? I mean, you got to give these details. It's all nebulous, and it's weird that no one had a backup of this if it really was making the rounds. If you're interested in his research, follow this link, and then there's a YouTube link that I am going to watch now. Surprise, surprise, the video is not on YouTube. Let's just hope it doesn't get taken down this time. From what he said, Viacom doesn't want this to be known. Well, then put it up on another site. I mean, you can have these things circulate, put them on torrent sites. This stuff could make it around. You can't just censor something like that off the internet. At least not once it's already been circulated. He said something about Viacom killing the parents who lost their children to the serial killer. Soon more updates will be known. How do you know more updates will be known? Anyway, log entry 12/08/2013. So now we're doing entry updates. So is this going to turn into another happy? Because I hope it does. Mr. Josh Gonzalez, the man behind Suicide Squidward Clip YouTube channel, has uploaded the 4th clip. It's almost the same clip as the 3rd, but with one difference. Ellipses, things that seem to be images or photos of dead people, probably the children mentioned in the story. You can't see much, however, it's most likely the quality. I'm actually freaked out because of this, even though it's not the worst video yet. What do you mean it's not the worst video yet? How do you know the videos are going to get worse? And what do you mean it's most likely the quality? It's definitely the quality. That if you can't make out what's going on, what else could it be? Soon I'll try to talk with Josh myself, once again. I sent him a PM and I really wish to know what is happening, if Squidward's suicide is true, if it's more than a simple internet legend. I will surely see SpongeBob in a different way if it's true. Oh really? If SpongeBob SquarePants, the show, is involved in child murder, you're going to see it differently? Really? Controversial stance. It seems like the sound is corrupted. Josh says he will not be able to fix the sound since he doesn't know that much about VHS tapes. I think the sound gives it an even more spooky feeling. Remember to check the video, and the video is down, of course. Log entry 13/08/2013. I received a PM answering my questions from Josh Gonzalez, the owner of the channel, but what he gave me was more than I could ask. I'm impressed. I am impressed. But I'll let you guys read it. So this is apparently from Josh Gonzalez. I am the man who saw the tape for the first time at Nick Studios. You might say I am the protagonist on the Squidward suicide story. Well, the story nowadays is way different from reality. Yeah, the fake story written originally is better structured. My friend, don't get me wrong, but I would never accept money from a viewer. I would never make money from such a calamity. People were killed thanks to this small but macabre act. Okay, sure, whatever. About the Andrew Skinner case, that man is not real. He was an invention created by the same guy who made the Red Mist videos. Probably some troll who watched my videos back in 2006 and used the idea to make money. Red Mist was actually making money with that ridiculous story because he was selling shirts. If you Google Andrew Skinner, because that name has not come up yet, I have no idea where we're getting an Andrew Skinner from. It's just some, like, famous Mormon guy, religious teacher, whatever. Good heaven. I am not selling shirts. My older channel is from 2006. I was here first, and I am the only one who went through all of those problems. I almost got arrested, and I am still being followed by some strange men sometimes. Oh my god, this is happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have happy. All of that was one sentence, by the way, with a single comma. Oh boy. Red Mist is a lie created by a small troll who wanted to place his name in the history of those creepypasta thingies. Well, he did it, however. He was gaining profit from people's deaths. He's a jackass. No argument there, as people are actually taking real-life murder stories and trying to capitalize off of them. Whatever. About the 3 bloody drops, I will soon upload it, probably in 5 hours. I'm still cleaning that SpongeBob picture that was inside the tape. After that, I will reveal the other cartoons. About the 3 bloody drops. What are the 3 bloody drops? They're just like name-dropping things that haven't previously existed in the story. What is going on here? Could it be something that were in the clips? I doubt it, because they describe what happens in the clips, and there's nothing about 3 bloody drops. Why didn't the cartoons have good old SpongeBob and Patrick? I don't know, this tape seems so weird. You know, when you have one of those old tapes that are dirty and you don't remember what's inside the tape, just keeps making noise? Suddenly you think, what is inside? Yes, I do think that very suddenly. That's my feeling. I saw the tape at Nick Studios in 2005 and forgot most of what was inside. My memory is good, but all I made everything impossible to vomit that memory out of my brain. So apparently, this tape has supernatural powers to erase what is seen on the tape. Maybe that's what's happening right here. Maybe the YouTube clips aren't deleted and I've watched them, but I just deleted them from my memory. Here's the original story before someone took it and turned it into a creepypasta. Just before you read it, remember that it wasn't a story. It was a post on a forum about VHS tapes. Then for some reason, this story feels it necessary to repost the same exact forum post from before about like, hey guys, I don't know if this is the best place for this tip, but blah blah blah, I need to clean this, haunted VHS tape I found. So we're going to skip reading that a second time. As you can see, someone on that forum took my post and turned it into a horror story for the internet. About the killer. We don't know who he is, but thanks to the investigator Sebastian Hugo, we were able to find that the sound from clip 3 and 4 is playing backwards. When you play it normally, you hear this. And then there's a link to a mediafire.com, download link. The investigator told me that they are saying is really very similar to this here. And then there is a YouTube link to the Max Headroom incident. I am sure a lot of you know what the Max Headroom incident is, but if you don't, go Google the Max Headroom incident. Don't know if you knew about the video. That man hijacked a TV channel in 87 or something. His identity is still unknown. What he says in the TV hack video is very similar to what is said in the sound of the tape. I think they're both the same man. Anyway, I hope this answers your questions. Well, I have more questions than I have answers. What are the 3 blood drops? Who is Andrew Skinner, Mormon scholar? I just ask you share and spread this video around to people who might help. I don't want to sell shirts, lol, nor to eat your wallet. I just want to help. Thanks. Okay, so we're going back to our typical narrator here. Let's see what they have to say. Maybe they can clarify who Andrew Skinner, Mormon scholar, is and what these 3 bloody drops are about. To be honest, I wasn't expecting such thing. I heard about the TV hacker guy who appeared while there was Doctor Who show going on. But seeing him mixed with Suicide Squidward was so weird. How weird was it? This was the Max Headroom incident during Doctor Who, a show that played on the BBC and not in America? Whatever. It makes sense since you can hear Doctor Who's theme on the tapes in Josh channels while man is saying he is a freaking nerd. Anyway, this is all. I'll just finish the log by showing the latest video he found. I'll never touch on this subject again. And then there's a link to another video that has been taken down off YouTube. The new video was probably the scariest so far. The scene shows 2 kids waiting for something when suddenly a man with no face appears and runs after them. In the end, he kills the girl and I suppose eats her or something. Yeah, sure, why not? Slender Man just shows up and eats her with his non-existent mouth. He stabs the boy and we finally see him dying while the man keeps looking at him. Finally we get to see child murder. The video also shows some odd things like a strange old movie clip which can't be understood and an old puppet which I never saw before. Of course, because let's just throw a bunch of bullshit in here at the end. Way to complicate what is at its heart a story about, eyeballs popping out. In the end, Josh shows us the clean version of SpongeBob's creepy face from 3 and 4, and I have to say, looking at his eyes makes you feel something strange. It plays with your emotions. Yes, thank you for telling me how to feel, creepypasta narrator protagonist guy. So right next to this, there is a picture that has been recolorized in paint of SpongeBob from the episode where he's like, I don't need water, I don't need it. And he's like all dehydrated and stuff. And they've just reddened up his eyes and put like black splotches over it. And then in the corner it says smile. And it written in English, it just says smile. And boy, it is playing with my emotions, but not the emotions that they were expecting. Wasn't sadness so much as it is joy. The sound and music are also something, once again, macabre. In the end, what will happen? Will this become a red mist, or is the man the guy who in 2006 said the protagonist behind the Squidward suicide incident? Said to be the protagonist behind the Suicide Squidward incident. Sadly, the channel has been closed yesterday. Who knows? Keep looking in his channel, and you will probably find the answer, I guess. After all, it's just a creepypasta, right? In the vlog. So certainly, you should go down below and tell us what you thought about the Squidward suicide dead serious week. But let's see what people have to say about this story. A person named Cool says, troll pasta 1 out of 10. I don't think it is a troll pasta. I think the person who wrote this wrote it seriously. Gage Thorntonry says, fake. And then Godzilla fan says in response, you don't say. Man, who are these fucking marks just showing up out of nowhere? God of Memes, with a Z, this is one of the pastas I think was real, and the image was really creepy. Gage Thornton, no, it's not. The man behind the mask wrote this story to see if people believe it's real. I think it's not. We get this comment from Andy is Sepic. Why can't they just bring back the Suicide Squidward Clip channel? So even Andy is Sepic, which I think is supposed to be skeptic, is skeptical of the claims of this story. Why can't they just bring this back? Why can't they just upload it to Daily Motion? And let's end this off with the brilliant Metafockers comment in all caps. Totally interesting. So I think that there has been a vast departure from all of these stories from the original story. All of them want to get this one up and say, look, this original story had flaws. I will be the one to save it by taking out everything integral to the story. I think that this is commentary, these 4 related stories, on how people look at the surface level of a story and see things like hyper-realistic eyes and see that that is being made fun of and being memeified, and then don't really think about the implications that the story actually has. So they're taking out all the wrong parts of the original story to try and quote-unquote save it. I don't know that Squidward Suicide just on a pure believable level cannot work now because the lost episode thing has been run into the ground. But if you're going to try and take people back to that moment in time when people could have a suspension of disbelief and an extra level of suspension of disbelief around Squidward's suicide, the way that you do it isn't by avoiding terms like hyper-realistic eyes. It is by adding additional context and bringing more subtlety to the story. And that's not what these stories are doing. They are jacking up the violence even further, or seeing that writing something like that is really uncomfortable and then just avoiding the moments when the uncomfortable parts are showing up. It's kind of like a cowardly way of rewriting the story. A story that is very daring, is taking risks. This is very risk-adverse, the 4 other stories we've read, excluding the family reunion, which was just weird fan fiction-y stuff. So I hope that this week has been enlightening. I hope that y'all have enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making these things. It's been fun getting back into Dead Serious, and I have a goal of hitting 100 Dead Serious this year. I think that I can hit that number and exceed it. I will still probably be posting them in bursts because I just get in the mood to make these things and then get out of the mood. So we'll see what happens. Please do comment below. That engagement is really fun. I like to see what people have to say about these things. Again, this is all about building up a community and building up a writing circle. Now, if you enjoyed that, remember to blow the brains out of the like button and subscribe to Dead Palette here on YouTube to be notified when another Dead Serious video comes out, as well as my original horror stories, narrated by myself. Check out toospooky.com, that's TOO spooky.com for original horror stories, and follow me on Twitter and Tumblr, links to everything in the low bar. If you really enjoyed this stuff, consider my Patreon as a way to support me. Thank you so much for your time, and now on to our sponsor at this non-moment in time. Chocolate. Chocolate? Did you say chocolate?